The meeting of the Prairie City Council for June 10, 2019 will now come to order at 6:03 p.m. Ms. Johnson, would you certify the quorum?
Councilman Rowland. Councilman Randall.
Here.
Councilman Jones.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams. Councilman Wallace.
Present.
Ms. Reed, if I could impose on you to do our invocation this evening.
Please stand.
And then we'll follow by the pledge of allegiance.
Gracious Father, Lord and Savior, God of our Son, Jesus Christ. We come to you at this time with bowed heads and humble hearts, asking for your grace, your mercy, and your love upon this meeting. Open our spiritual ears that may be able to hear what it is you want us to hear. Strengthen us where we're weak, Lord, and give us wisdom and knowledge where we don't understand, so that we can clearly do the will that you sent us here to do. Forgive us for all our faults, our failures, and our mistakes. And Lord, dear God, we just ask you to be with us and help us to be the people that you created us to be. I'm asking this in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and I ask everybody in here to say amen.
Amen.
Thank you. And now we'll have the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the first thing we'll have that's actually not listed on the agenda is a swearing in of new officers. Chief Ross, you want to come up and bring the officers up for the swearing?
Yes, sir. You guys will stand at the front here. Good evening, council, your honor, and do you want to go?
Yes.
Mr. Dan. Again, your honor, council, ladies and gentlemen of the city of Prairie View, thank you for coming out tonight, and I would like to tell everybody how much we appreciate you guys and everything that you do to support us and the officers. Tonight, we will be giving the oath of office of police officer to the gentleman that you see up here. If you would state your name.
Daryl Mosley, Andres Rodriguez.
Don did.
All right. So, raise your hand. Once I start reading, you'll state your name. I
Daryl Mosley,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties of office of Prairie View Police Department. I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of police officer
of police officer
for the city of Prairie View
for the city of Prairie View
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and this state,
and in this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Round of applause. Got it. All right, guys, now what you're gonna do, you can give these back to Miss Pam. Congratulations. You guys will see this Pam, she's gonna get that stuff taken care of.
Thank you. Our next presentation is on expanding the ETJ. Councilman Randall.
So, in my conversation with Attorney Zek over the past 2 weeks, he's going to explain there's some changes in the legislature that come before this. He's going to explain the changes.
So I was asked by Councilmember Randall previously to give a presentation on annexation and the authority of the city to expand its corporate limits. What happened this last legislative session is the Texas legislature essentially passed legislation that prohibits cities from annexing property involuntarily. And so now there are very limited opportunities for cities to expand its corporate limits without very specific requests from property owners unless you go through an election. I have not yet, and don't think I should do it, gone through to look at, to take the legislative action that was taken and then incorporate it into the current code to see what it looks like. That should be done by the legislative process here pretty soon. As soon as that is complete, I can come back and give you more specifics with respect to what your authority is and what the process could be if you'd like to go through an election process for expanding your territory, and what those very few opportunities are for voluntary annexation. And that'll probably be in, I would say, 30 to 45 days.
So, just in conclusion, we understand how important it is to make an attempt to secure the city's borders, as surrounding areas have been encroaching on us for years. And so, as soon as the legislative process has taken course and Attorney Zek gets the new information, we'll come back and we'll have our presentation about how we go forward, if we can go forward, and what the steps are as far as expanding the ETJ. But as for now, that's gonna be the end of our presentation as far as that until further notice.
And I'll make sure that as soon as that is done, I'll make sure that you're aware.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next presentation is on the HGAC, which is the Houston Galveston Area Council, which we're part of, Regional Housing Plan. Councilman Rowland. Move and then we can come back to it because I know he's here. Citizen comments and moving the agenda. W. Perry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for this time. Again, council, Mr. Mayor, I just want to, I know we're in a position of getting a new police chief. I noticed you called Mr. Ross a chief. I didn't know if he was the interim chief or chief yet, because I know so much stuff happens without citizens knowing it. But again, I just want to come before you to hope that we would consider our officers that we already have on board, and that we would promote from within. Again, because it really can leave a sour taste when we don't try and use that method of promote from within. If there's a problem within, I think we need to go to the, we have other agencies such as the FBI and the Texas Rangers to come in and take a look at what we got going. If there's problems that we have from within, but certainly we need to look at what we have as far as hiring a chief from who we already have on hand. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Ashley Jackson.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, council, mayor, and all citizens, Prairie View. My name is Ashley Jackson. Once again, I'm back, like I said I would be. Yes, I'm gonna talk about Panther Hill Apartments. And I'm excited today because it's on the agenda. And some stuff is gonna be talked about that hasn't been talked about. And I know what is gonna be talked about. I know it, and you're gonna see it. We're all gonna see it, finally. Finally. So it won't just be my word. It won't just be me coming up here telling you. You're gonna see it. So maybe you'll feel for me and the other students that are still suffering. And another thing, today, students are raving on Twitter right now talking about the gates of Prairie. What are they talking about? They're talking about the high price of over $1,100 for a 2-bedroom? What student do you know can afford that right now? None. None. Students are struggling to pay $800 like me in a 1-bedroom in Panther Hill with leaks in the roof, brand new. So what can we expect? Another failure? Or a rescue? We'll see. We'll see. So, I'm challenging City Council today to not have a repeat. Make sure things are done properly. Keep asking the questions like you've been doing. Don't let up. Because if you do, it's going to be a part 2. A big part 2. Thank you.
Thank you. Kay Reed?
Kay Reed?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's come over here. Good evening to everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm trying to talk loud because I think my daughter said I've got a hearing problem, and I believe that I have, and I've learned that people with a hearing problem think everybody else has one too. And I say that also because when you all are speaking up here, I watch your mouth, but sometimes I really don't know what you're saying. But that's not what I came up here to talk about. I came to speak to number 9 on the agenda tonight, where it says at the back here, and let me read it, and I quote, discuss and take action on the creation of a Sandra Bland Historical Landmark Park cost and report. And I just came up here to say that I am not for this. And I'm going to tell you why. I hate what happened to Sandra Bland. I prayed about it. But I don't think Purview had anything to do with that other than she got arrested here.
Right.
I feel that the landmark needs to be in Hempstead as a jail.
Right.
And if it's not at the jail, then they're getting ready to build a new one. Then why don't you name the cell where you put people in jail the Sandra Bland jail cell? And that way they will be forever reminded of what they did out here in Purview.
Right.
Because the Purview people did nothing. And we have so many people. I've lived here a long time, and historically, I think our street deserves a better name than to be reminded constantly of a tragic thing that happened, as tragic as it was. And the second thing I want to say, and it has nothing to do with this, for the first time, I went over to the Panther Hill Apartments, and I can't say that what she said is not true. She said we would see tonight, and I'm glad to know that. But I went out to the pool area in the portico because on June the 22nd, and I'm asking everybody in this room, we're going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Purview. Just like they did the 75 D-Day anniversary, and people do wedding anniversaries, and they do all other kind of anniversaries. We're going to have an anniversary, and if you love your city, and if it's possible for you to be here, I'm asking you to come out there. We're going to give away gifts. We're going to have the children and grandchildren of the 14 farm families to speak. The children that grew up on the campus and the community, like Mr. Brown and Miss Poindexter, the people that started out in the Wide Chapel, which was here even before Purview started, the Owens Road subdivision, they will be speaking. You will really get a treat. And we have some grand prizes for you. We're going to do door prizes. And you don't have to worry about if I want a little flower, a little bead. We're going to give money prizes. I think you're going to love it, along with the barbecue place. So please, please come out. I don't often get involved in stuff, but I'm involved in this one, and I'm pushing all the way. And I sure do thank you, and I know y'all heard me because I was talking so loud. The time is from 4 to 8 o'clock, June the 22nd. That'll be following the 19th of June. And I look forward to seeing all of you if you will come. Thank you.
Thank you. Ron Leverett.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. First, let me give again, thank you again for the street lights. You mentioned it to me again after the meeting was over. And I'm open, I want to let the council know that the citizens of Prairie View appreciate that light. Pretty soon we're going to appreciate another one in the middle, but I know it takes time to get to it. And so we will be gracious when we do that. A couple of things I want to speak to that I picked up, and if I'm in error, I want to say it's based on my opinion. I want to talk about building permits. I think that we're getting closer to bringing building permits prior to, and we have concerns, some of us citizens have concerns about the building permits issued or the way that they are issued. But I think even some of the council members are confused as to what the role of Bureau Veritas is as related to who, when they inspect, when they issue, the permits are issued, I guess, to Bureau Veritas to go out and inspect, who issues it. How much does the city council really know about what's being built? I heard somebody say something about the gates. How many council members know about the gates already? That was the first time I heard about it, and I'm sure that the detailed plans have not come to the public. But I think that, and we talk about transparency, I think that, as I said in our last meeting, Mr. Mayor, I think we all welcome development. I think that if the citizen will embrace development, especially when it's advertised to us that development is taking place. I think that the council will be more supportive of the development. But it seems like the development is already up and running and being built before the council even know anything about it. I might be wrong, but that's the impression that I get. Procedures in building in utility payments. I understand that some of the utility payments have been relaxed in terms of certain instances. Getting the utility bills, payment plans. I think that all of the citizens, unless we're using selective law enforcement, I think it's proper for all of us to be advised of what's the proper procedure for getting payment plans and what does it take to get a payment plan? How long does it last? How long does it take for us to pay out our delinquent bills? Who's entitled to certain payment plans? I mean, all of the people in the city of Prairie View, taxpayers are eligible for payment plans? Is it selected at random? I don't know. I think we should talk about that. Another thing is, I understand that that there's been some investigation going on in the city of Prairie View as related to some problems that we are having, but also my opinion, again, I want to make sure I'm not prosecuting or stating anything, but this is, I call it hearsay. that the local police officers were not involved in the investigation. I was stopped by a Waller police officer in the city of Prairie. And I doubt if the police department stops, Prairie Police Department stopped anybody in the city of Prairie, and especially when the police officer that stopped me didn't even know who I was, even after running my place. So I don't want to get confused. I don't want to get caught up into, I don't want any of our citizens to get caught up between two police departments offering justice in another city. I don't want that to happen. Lastly, as again, I talked about selective law enforcement, and I think that the laws should be equal as related to the statutes. And I don't think that some citizens should be, the laws are relaxed, because I've been around here before, because I'm a former mayor, that I should get any special treatment. I don't think it should be. I think it's taxpayer citizens. I appreciate that. You know, the same as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Andrea Bell Miller and Chandra Bell Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor, City Councilman. I'm here to speak about a concern that I have about the Sandy Glen Parkway, which is 1098, used to be University Drive. My nephew, Johnny Howard, is here to represent my sister, Chandra Johnson, who actually lives on that street. We're very concerned, and I'm back off the heels of what Ms. Reed was saying, that it was a very tragic situation, and of course, no one wanted to have anything happen like that in their city. However, it did take place where she was pulled over and pretty much arrested here in Prairie, but she did not meet her demise until she was in the Waller County Jail. And for that very reason, I think it's very important that we go back to where we started from with what was known as University Drive and make that a permanent name instead of Sandy Glen Parkway. I thank you for your time, and please consider my thoughts. Thank you.
Good, ma'am.
Thank you.
R.W. Dillard.
Good evening, everyone, Mayor, Council, citizens, and visitors here at the Prairie View Council monthly meeting, I assume. I'm here also in regards to the Sandy Glen Parkway situation. I spoke when it was initially put forth to the city. And of course, there were many people here, many people from the community who did not want that to happen, but it happened anyway. And so I think that when I came today, I thought, well, you know, I really don't want to say anything, because when you say something, they're just going to do whatever it is they want to do anyway. And so I came to ask that you consider maybe sending out a I don't know, a petition or something to where the citizens of the community who actually pay taxes here decide whether or not that parkway should remain Sandy Glen or be named something else. Because it really represents the community of Prairie View and the city of Prairie View. And so I think that they should have a final say on that. I recognize that the last time there were many people here from Black Lives Matter. I don't know if Black Lives Matter are represented here tonight. But you know, when you say the word Prairie View means Black Lives Matter. And that's what's known historically. So I think that we've been respectful to the Bland family, the situation as it occurred from the community, and I think that it's now time to make a change. And I didn't mean to speak on this, but the gentleman who spoke about hiring from within, that's a good policy to hire from within, because otherwise you create animosity that you don't want to deal with. And when Mr. Leverett spoke about being stopped by a Waller police in the Prairie View community, it made me think, was that a Prairie View police that stopped Sandy Bland in Prairie View? I mean, I don't know, but it just, that was the question that came to mind when he said that. So I just wanted to know, what is the rule on that? All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Vita Brown?
Well, good evening, everybody. Mr. Mayor, city council members,
Amen.
my wonderful city council members, and all the beautiful people of Prairie View, Texas, and surrounding areas, wherever you may come from. I got two quick issues that I want to address. Is the microphone on? Well, I guess it doesn't work, but I'll try to project my